guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So I'm excited because we have a lot to go through, and also we're going to have a special guest here at the beginning. So first, you guys know we've been for the last few days going through the motion to dismiss a lawsuit against Letecia. Well, the lawsuit is Letecia's lawsuit. She's brought against Kansas Department of Corrections. The motion to dismiss is from them. And we've been reading through, how she reported things and if she did it correctly and all the crazy stuff she was saying. It's been cool because we were able to get jail files, from El Paso County and from the prison, and we could see her grievances. But Kansas doesn't release that stuff because of the lawsuit. We've been able to see things we wouldn't be able to see otherwise. Well, you guys know this motion to dismiss was just filed, and she has already filed her response. It's only 5 pages. I've scrolled through the rest of the motion to dismiss. We're going to get through both of those things today. Tonight, I'll be on Melissa Jades for Casey Anthony, but also today we have a special guest. So I think many of you guys know that Lil Red, one of the chatters here, and friend of the channel, is the one who's gotten us these files. So I asked her, would you like to come up for a few minutes at the beginning and kind of give your thoughts? And so, yeah, here she is backstage. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to post her link right now in the chat before I bring her up. Please go check it out. Go check out her channel. And I'm so appreciative of her getting us these files. It's been super interesting. So here, let me bring you up. Hello.
Oh my gosh, I'm really there.
You look pretty.
Okay. Oh, look how weird, because I'm looking at my phone and on the... How funny. Okay.
So Lil Red
you?
is new. I'm good.
You.
She's new to joining panels, so she's figuring it out. That's
Okay. We're fine. We're fine. Okay.
So how are you today? Can you hear me? How are you
I feel
doing?
weird, like I'm lost of it. Okay. Look, it's too weird.
You got
good.
this.
Just looking forward to my event, kind of, but not really. But it is fun to go.
Look at everyone saying hi to you in the chat. So I wrote down a couple points that I could ask you about because I know you don't do panels a lot. This is new for you, and this may make it easier.
Hey there, everyone.
So I don't want you to be nervous. I'm just going to ask you a couple things about these documents. So do you think Letecia is doing all of this to go back to Colorado?
This is the first time I've ever done a panel. Okay.
That's okay. Do you think Letecia is going through all this to get sent back to Colorado?
I think I need to turn. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely. She wants to go back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm on a delay for some reason,
Okay.
but
Here, let me do this. I think I need to unplug this microphone because I think it's causing like an echo.
And you don't have it open in the background, right? Hey, Will.
There. Is that better? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. Hey, Will, I'm so happy to see you. Sorry.
No. Well, I mean, I can see you in the background, but the microphone was picking it up. So anyway.
Okay. So what do you think what do you think the reason for this entire lawsuit is?
Because she wants to go back to Colorado.
Do you think she's going to get her way?
Yeah, I do. Because I think this is better. Now you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you good. Sounds
now,
good.
I just can't see the chatters, and that's okay, too, because hello, everybody. I'll just say hello like that, because it was running in the background, and it was causing this really bad delay. And anyway, I could hear all this other stuff. Yeah, she wants to go back to Colorado because she thinks this is affecting her her appeal. But she had an appeal attorney, but now she's acting like she's going pro se. And she needs access to the law library that they're not going to give her in Kansas because they don't have that law library there. And she can't get, Bluetooth access through the internet because that's not, I just don't think she can for the law library. So,
right. Yeah. So you think it's going to work, though, that she will get her way?
I think eventually she'll go back to Colorado because she'll keep on and on and on. She was not going to stop. And if they don't send her back to Colorado, they'll send her someplace else. That's what I think.
Wow. So, okay. Maybe so. That's very so interesting. I hope they send her somewhere we can get the records if we want.
Me too, because I don't like the way Kansas doesn't let us. It sucks for us. Because, you all know I hate her so bad. I mean, I don't even have to tell you, y'all just know it, because how dare her to that innocent child? It upsets me so bad. I hate her. I never want her to get her way. I hope she rots in that prison, and I hope they send her to a prison that's harder than Kansas. Although I don't think there is a prison that's harder than Kansas, honestly. We've heard a lot about that prison, and it is
True.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
so
true. Even before she got there, they were facing a lot of lawsuits.
right, they certainly were. And I know that kind of thing happens, sexual abuse, whatever happens in prisons, but not every place you go are you sexually abused. Stop that shit, you lying bitch. Sorry. I can't stand her. And the lying, the lying, the lying. It's craziness. It's
I
absolutely
know.
crazy.
I
So
know. So, what do you think about her being mad that she's housed with violent offenders?
she's a violent offender. Give me a break. You don't kill a child 3 times at once and not be a violent offender. I mean, oh
Yeah,
my God.
I
She did,
know.
she was violent beforehand. Remember her child when she was a child? Remember all the things that she's done that she thinks nobody knows about? Hell yes,
Yeah.
she's violent. But anyway,
Yeah, she
I'm
was getting
sorry.
in fights before,
Mhm.
of course, her crime, and then she attacked a guard on the way back. We know she's thrown feces water on another inmate. She's incredibly violent. It's shocking that she believes that she shouldn't be around violent inmates.
I know. I'm like, well, then where does she think she needs to be? Over in, well, she'd love to be in medical, but they cannot put her in medical because there's nothing wrong with her. They already know this. They already know it's all BS. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
ugh, that
Yeah.
woman.
Okay, so another thing I wanted to ask you about, you have found that she does have an appeal open, but it
Right,
is sealed,
right.
right?
That's right. Uh-huh.
So that's very interesting. Why would they seal that, I wonder?
Um, I think they sealed it because there's a minor child involved. And so in this appeal, when they start talking about everything, the judge and what went wrong in the trial itself, because they can't bring in new evidence. They can only talk about what happened at that trial and if any mistakes were made. And so if they're with a child involved, I think that's why they sealed it. Because there's the records about him. Thank God somebody's gonna not let his picture be everywhere. And anyway, I think that's the
Yeah.
reason why, and I hope so. So,
I don't think she'll get very far with that appeal, though.
no, no, because they didn't make any mistakes. Everything they did was right. There's
Yeah,
not
they
one
did an
mistake I can
excellent job.
think of. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me also ask you, would you ever purchase a pair of raunchy prison sweatpants on eBay for $200?
No, no, no. Maybe as a joke to send to Wade Wilson, but that's about it. But no, wouldn't
I
that be?
can't get over that.
Oh my God. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
laughing. I'm not gonna be able to stop. She's so disgusting. I mean, shit. She don't even bathe. But
Well, we know that there are men in other prisons and stuff who have reached out to her and wanted to, talk to her. So that's surprising too.
I wonder
Um,
what the draw is. What is the draw about her? She's horrible.
I don't know. I have no clue because it ain't her personality, it ain't her looks. She's the biggest lying manipulator, lying liar face. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
mean, if there was a jail called Liarsville, they would send her there.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
they
I
would.
don't know. I don't know what, unless it's just a notoriety. Oh, I got to talk to Letecia Stauch. She's just as evil as I am. She killed a child too. Yeah, I don't know. And then she
Mm,
talks about she can't work in the prison. No, because people will attack her. She doesn't.
that's true.
They are trying to protect her stupid ass. But I'm sorry, her stupid person. But she fights them every step she can. But oh God, that woman. I don't even call her a
You
woman. She's just an animal. So
Yeah, but no, you're right. Like you're mad because they won't give you a job. Well, we've saw in the jail file, many people wanted to attack her and were going to guards like I can't control myself, number one. And number two, these people in prison for other things that aren't violent away from their families and they see this woman, might just have a bad day. Maybe there's a day they can't talk to their child or God knows, and they're
right.
like, take it out on her.
Right, and they will. And they
Yeah.
will. I mean, look, they've attacked Wade Wilson. They've attacked a lot of people. in prison, and like he didn't kill children, but he's still horrible. But I mean,
Yeah.
isn't the guy from Colorado separated from everybody else too because people are going to kill him? What's
Yes,
his name?
Chris
Yes,
Watts.
Chris
He
Watts.
actually,
Yes, yes,
yeah, he was in Wisconsin in a maximum security. And I heard just the other day he just got moved to another state. But yes, because it's dangerous for him in Colorado.
yeah.
People know who he is and what he's done.
They sure do. I mean, how come I don't understand how she can't see what she said, "Oh, I'm a role model citizen. I mean, I don't do anything. I've been bullshit." Oh God, she's
Yeah.
planned on escaping other places too. We all
Yeah.
saw it. She drew the window, for God's sake.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's like Lori Vallow and thinks she could just teleport herself over somewhere. God.
Yeah, no, call me Sadie. We had an echo on and off, but so it's not just you. But Lori, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, and welcome to the people who got them. Okay, so the last thing I want to ask you, and then I'm going to let you go and get into the documents. I'm glad you came up though, and I hope you will again, like, and share your thoughts. Gives you experience.
Yes, because it's one thing to just talk while you're on your channel, but to actually come up and talk on somebody else's channel, that's a whole different. It's scary.
It is, but you're doing great. And I told you, just like you're, on the phone or something, kind of think of it like that and you'll get used to it. I remember the first lives I did with other people. I promise you. Well, actually, my first lives were with other people. The entire table was like this because I was shaking so bad. You could probably see it in the camera.
Oh, how funny is that? That's funny, girl.
Yes,
But
that's
you're
normal.
just you're natural with this. It's just like it just comes to you so naturally. People would never know that you were ever nervous about this. So
Oh, well, thank
that's the way
you.
I see it. It's just like I told Jen Lou and our fabulous MJ. You three people are the people who made me realize I can do this. I mean, I've
Oh,
always been in the background and I always like to work in the background. But then one day I was like, you know what? I know I can go on there and do this. So thank you. Thank you.
oh, you're so welcome. And thank you. Look, Tess says you're doing fantastic. It's so scary at first.
Thank you, Tess.
Okay, so before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about your channel. I know that you are uploading like different files, like for instance, for Stearns and stuff. You're going to upload maybe the calls with no stupid audio watermark or
That's right.
anything. So,
Mhm.
what else are you got going on over there so people can come check it out?
Okay, so one of the things we're doing is we're reading true crime books. And discussing it is, are they facts? Are they not facts? Or is it embellished? What's really going on here? Because we know that people will write books and just put things in there to make it sell. It may not even be real. So we talk about those things. Right now, we're reading the Sociopath Next Door, and it's a hard read, but it's very interesting, and you learn a lot of knowledge out of it. And so, like, you'll see these people that we watched all these trials and stuff. You go, oh my God, they really were a sociopath. We didn't believe it, but anyway, from this book, it tells you a lot. Our next book we're going to do is the what's the name of this? The Manson Family Manual. But before I get into that book, I'm going to do a live show and compare Chad Daybell to Charles Manson because even though they had a little bit different tactics they used, it's the same thing. I mean,
Right.
it's cult-like. I mean, they talked people into killing for them.
Yeah.
Because I think Alex killed Tammy. I think Chad was there, but I think Alex did the deed. I think Alex killed the kids.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's the same thing. I mean, how did Chad Daybell, that squirmy little piece of crap guy, get in their heads that it was okay to kill them and that she was some kind of exalted being? I mean, I will never understand it. Anyway, I'm going to do that comparison first.
That's
So,
cool.
right now I'm just uploading chapter 8 and 9 on into his podcast type thing, and chapter 11 and 12, 10, 11, and 12, we're going to finish off live sometime in the next week. And then we're going to do our Charles Manson comparison. And then we're going to start on the actual book. Now, this Charles Manson Family Manual is very interesting. It lays out everything. There's pictures. It's huge. It's just a huge book. So I'm excited
Wow.
about that. Yeah. So
That'll
that's
be
kind of what
fun.
I'm doing. And I'm letting other people pick the books too. If you want to pick a book and we talk about it, sure, let's do it. And I'm reading out
Okay.
loud to them. So, and I don't mind doing it. I like reading out loud. It's okay. Um,
Yeah.
it
Hey,
kind of at what I'm not nervous about reading out loud. So Anyway.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get used to it and not have the nerves. And you learn a lot more from books. I think that it's intellectually more stimulating probably than some videos and stuff like that or whatever. So,
Right,
um,
right.
but yeah,
I have this other channel going too. Now, let me tell y'all about this. I really haven't done much on there, but I want to do like a live call-in show where there's somebody out here that's like one of the subscribers, or you don't even have to subscribe. You can just pick a topic and call in and say, let's talk about this. And then we all talk about it and then just do a poll at the end of the conversation or at the end of the show. Did we actually cover it correctly? Is there mistakes that, just are we right or are we wrong basically on the poll? Because it's going to be cold turkey. You're not going to know what the topic is and not have time to study it or anything. You're just going to have to start talking. So I thought it would be
that'll
like
be
a game
cool.
show. That would be kind of fun, just to break
Yeah.
up the monotony of everything else. It's so serious on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I just thought that sounded kind of fun.
It
But
does
anyways,
sound fun. There's a lot of it can be pretty depressing sometimes, especially following certain cases and the ones that are still open. They're so stressful to follow, very hard on the heart. All of them are. But so anyways, but thank you so much for coming up and thank you for getting the files for us. And I hope you guys will go check out her channel. Thank you, Solo Angel Mom. I'm going to drop it again right now. Please go check it out. And then, yeah, we're going to get to reading. And I hope that you'll come join the chat so that you can talk because haven't been able to see people's comments and they've sent you lots of love.
Okay. All right. Thanks again. Y'all have a good day. I can't stay long because I have to go to this silly function. But anyway, thank you again. Love you all. Bye.
All right. Thank you. We love you. Bye. Have fun. Okay. Let's see. Now, let me go ahead and turn that off and share my screen because we got some things to look at today. Some things to look at. Okay. So this is about where we left off with, remember, we're in Kansas Department of Correction, motion to dismiss. Sorry, crime horse. So what we're doing is we've been going through Letecia Stauch's lawsuit. There was a motion to dismiss the lawsuit. She's suing the prison for all kinds of stuff, and she wants to be moved. She claims they're holding her illegally. They're putting her with violent people, and they shouldn't be. They're sexually assaulting and harassing her, just all kinds of stuff, and that the conditions are terrible. So right now we've been going through this very long 160-page motion to dismiss her case. Now, this was just filed, like very recently. She has already filed her response, and Little Red was very kind to grab that for us too. So we're about to go over the rest of this motion and what she had to say about it. I can't believe this case has continued to go on this long. And I wanted to ask Little Red, would you like to come up for like 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning and give your thoughts? Because she's followed along. She's the one who's been grabbing the lawsuit documents. And I just appreciate her doing that. And so, yeah, we were just chatting about kind of opinions and then what she's got going on. And now we're getting into the documents. So, hey, Alicia. Hey, you guys. Okay. I hope, is it warm where you guys are? Oh my gosh, it has been so nice. I can't get over it. Truly, good to see you. All right. So now after we were reading a lot of her grievances. Okay. We've been reading them. This is a response that she got. What I'm going to do is read a couple responses that they have and then what she had to say, and we'll get right into what she just filed. Okay. So they say, to Letecia Stauch, response to your grievance ending in 6-1. Your grievance was received and reviewed. You stated that this law is listed in the JCH library. However, it is currently not currently in effect. Based on conversations with Holviera, who's one of the people she's suing, who's been in the UTM and ICH since July 2023, the order has not been active since then. There have been no recent changes to ICH, which includes using part of the level 3 day room for the library. which supersedes the incentive level scheduled that would go in place. In March, COVID forced the prison to change a different way of scheduling, March of 2020, which forced some general orders to be placed on a back burner to accommodate what needed to happen to keep residents safe. Since COVID, some of those scheduling changes have not gone back to before COVID, and the housing rules currently in place will remain in effect. It was explained that during COVID schedule changes, making this law no longer accurate, no further action. She's not going to like that, okay? She says that she does not have what she needs for the appeals in Colorado. The computers aren't working here, but we're not going to. Now, here's another response to her they sent right after on a different grievance, because she's filed so many grievances. I have received and reviewed your grievance. You stated you went to the law library on 12/11 and 12/18, and you claimed that the terminal was not working as you were not able to pull up Colorado case law. You state that this is something that you are to have access to, and that is a constitutional right of yours. I like the way they're responding to her here. After consultation with Facility Management Division in the central office, it was determined that LexisNexis has the capacity to provide you with case law as well as statutes. Not statues, Tisha, statutes. I have been provided with the information that you can customize your searches by subject matter, and it has everything you need regardless of state. After being provided with the information above, the decision on this matter is considered closed, because you can get what you need through LexisNexis. Here she says, the interstate compact needs revocation because the inmate, who it's her, is no longer safe in this facility due to staff and the facility's failure to follow its own policy. Summary is documented in evidence. First, the continued retaliation from unit team, including 11-106 violations, PREA violations, and some other things, to include retaliation and policies violating discrimination towards religious groups on I. The continued equal protection clause and of the Constitution violations to include educational opportunities, work, programming, and women on I and J, that's the ward she's in, are discriminated on for being women with extended time and treated differently than males who are similarly situated, and females on the compound in the comparison group, because yes, she has created comparison groups and charts. Inmate does not have behavior issues and is constantly around institutional violent offenders. See, every time I read this, I don't know how she keeps blowing my mind. Who the hell are you think you're supposed to be with, Letecia? Also, little side note, on my Patreon before the live, I did upload this file and it's free. All any kind of case files, anything like that we're looking at will always go on the free tier over there. So you guys can download the PDF if you want to read yourself. I don't think that these are available anywhere else online. So, inmate doesn't have behavior issues and is constantly around violent offenders. Since when do you not have behavior issues? I would say that planning to escape, busting a cop in the face, or a guard in the face, or a deputy in the face with a monster can, throwing feces water on someone. I think all of those things show your behavior is terrible. Come on. She says, I have a record of names and dates. Oh, okay. See, she loves to threaten them. In all of her grievances, she started threatening them with a lawsuit almost immediately. Inmate has sustained an injury at the hands of staff. The facility is trying to cover it up. This includes the sexual harassment and abuse. This is a 14th and 8th Amendment violation. The inmate is a security risk to the facility, according to a prior letter from you, and due to the actions of classification and housing. There is other compelling factors as well, to include state statutes, she spelled it right, and ICC. Okay, so they closed her grievance. And here she sends another one. This is the second one I wanted to read you. Then we're pretty much done, and we're going to get into her response that she just filed. So she says, hello, I would like to address the issue under Kansas state law, whatever. Any person who is detained illegally or confined against state statutes, she spelled it right one time. She writes statue like, Statue of Liberty instead of statute, like, the way it should be. But the way she starts this, any person who is detained illegally, bitch, you were found guilty. You wanted to be moved and weren't safe in Colorado, so they sent your ass to Kansas. What the hell do you mean? I cannot get over her. B Crumbs, thank you for being a member for 23 months. Holy cow. And thank you for gifting. Thank you so much. She is so damn dramatic. It does inhibit her ability to write. Use your time to brush up on grammar usage and spelling. Well, look, let's just take a second and consider this. Let's say that all the things she's, not even all, let's say that 50 to 75% of her claims are true. And it, would be, you would think if that was the case, it would be incredibly important to her to receive some sort of justice, straighten things out, whatever. So because of that, wouldn't you think that you would take your time, write things properly, use correct spelling and grammar, punctuation? It's literal chicken scratch on some of this, and you're about to see, because this 5-page motion she just filed is handwritten, of course. So Solo Angel Mom, thank you for being a member for 8 months. We almost made a YouTube baby. Let's see what you said, Triple L. Hey, Keith. I haven't seen you for a minute. She thinks the T is silent. I want to know, because I didn't follow enough to know a lot. Was she crazy before she did this? She had to act semi-normal to have a career. So, Triple L, there's a couple interesting things about your question. I'm glad I went to find it. She was a teacher, but she actually didn't work all that much. She had a lot of time off, suing employers, things like that. But, she had a couple of, Al believed they were staged break-ins before the crime she committed. And it was at their house in Colorado. So one day I was thinking about it, and I thought we should see, and I talked to Jen about it, and I told her, we should see if they've had any service calls to the house. We found the service call, and we've ordered the body cam. Thank God at the time that this occurred, the kids weren't there, so we won't have to worry about that, and we can watch it together and see how she acted, see what she said, because I think it's going to be pretty interesting based on the report, which we read over the report not too long ago. Oh, Amanda, thank you for being a member for 5 months. Love you back. Thank you. She lives in the land of Delulu along with the Wade wives, don't she? Oh my God, you guys, can I just tell you, I fell in the shower today. Oh my God, I'm so sore. So I'm taking a break for a second from reading, but I got up to get a tissue and my ankle hurts. Like I was doing the one leg using like this thing that's for your feet. And yeah, apparently I don't have very good balance. I fell out the damn shower, out of it. And yeah, it was not good. Thank you. She's going to download the Stearns calls, and that's where we will finish listening with no audio watermark. We're doing Casey for a couple of days, so it gives you some time. Her correction of statute to statute is proof she watches you. Then her jury box, is that where you keep her jury box? Oh, you make educators look ignorant. I am offended as I teach. I'm sorry, Melissa. I bet that is offensive. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it was an ouch, but I'm all right. I got right up and I'm like, dude, no one checked on me. And I'm like, Bentley, did you hear me fall? He said, yeah, I heard a loud thud in there. I was like, okay. But anyways, let me continue. So again, we need to start from this top part only because the dramatics, okay? So any person who is detained illegally or confined against state statutes is a violation of law. I tried to reach out to Miss a legal process under a habeas corpus proceeding. I tried to mail the form out to HQ and it was confiscated by the facility. So I called HQ and was told to give it to my counselor and he would pass it on. Dalton intervened again, blocking contact. I tried to ask my counselor to send it verified certified mail. No help from him. No help from him. The facility is interfering with getting the information to the correct individuals. Topeka Correctional is knowingly restraining me of my liberties and impeding the process of habeas corpus and illegal detention in the state of Kansas per this statute. I am in danger in this facility by staff. I did grieve it, and the responses back said that there was an error in the system and no one saw them. We both know this is a cover-up. But either way, this is against prison policy and therefore against due process. This is adding to the statute violation. Work assignment, none. They give false reports. I know, Debbie, it broke my heart too. That's one that will, Letecia, let's separate her from the case. She is a fascinating psychological study, if you will. Like the way that she works, it's truly like nothing I've ever seen before. And I honestly hope to never meet someone like that. But that case, I don't know. It's hit me differently than probably any other case. And I've talked about this for a long time, but Gannon was the exact same age as my son. They kind of favored each other. They were both, same light eyes, dirty blonde, like a dark, that turns into like a dark brown hair. They just kind of each other thin. And it just hit me really hard. And then following it, along the way, you hear, like, I'll never forget the preliminary hearing, and we finally heard, a little bit more. We didn't have much information. Social media was going crazy, blaming Al. There were fake neighbors coming out. Then we have the preliminary hearing, and we heard about the wounds to his hands. And I was live. They didn't film this, but I was reading the live tweets from the courtroom, and I will never forget that. I was sitting outside on the sun porch at my parents' reading through the tweets with the live chat here on my channel, and I just sobbed. We all cried. Like, just hearing about how brutal it was and him fighting back and hearing those wounds on his hands. I'll just never forget the way that hit me. So I totally understand. This is one that, I'll probably follow her shenanigans forever. If she's doing stuff in the court process that we can look at and see, I'm going to look at it, whether like it's on my own or not, But that case, it just, whew. And I know you felt that way too. Tess, exactly how afraid he must have been. Like like, I don't know what it was about the hands, the defense wounds, and that hearing that just like shook my soul. I mean, because you just picture it, right? You picture it making me cry. You picture his little hands like up like this, like trying to defend himself. And it's one that I will never forget. And I know many of you guys really feel that way too. But you just picture him like that, like with, I don't know. Maybe his hands were turned the other way. I don't know. But there's something like that does to you as a person, as a mom, as a human being. Whew. He was such a sweet, innocent young man. He wanted to be a YouTuber. You watch his little YouTube video he made, and he's just like so innocent, and we know that he was so loving. He would call his mom and check on his little sister all the time. He literally was saved, and we'll stop after this because I don't want to tie this into her bullshit. He deserves so much better. But just responding to the comment, he literally had a box he was saving stuff for his kids in, like a sentimental 11-year-old like that. Like, he was all heart. His heart was bigger than his butt. That's for sure. That's what they say where I grew up. It's just a saying about people with a big heart, but very sad, you guys. What an evil, evil witch she is. And then she has the nerve to complain like this. Look, jail ain't going to be comfortable. I'm sorry. You're in prison for murder. Okay, you are fucking violent. If anyone is a violent offender, bitch, it's you. Excuse my language, but see, now my emotions I'm starting to get emotional, and it's pissing me off to think that she has the nerve to complain like she's at a damn Holiday Inn. Like it's customer service, threatening them with lawsuits and shit. And following through. Not just threatening, following through. It's unbelievable, you guys. What's it doing? If you're having an echo, call me, Sadie. I hope she gets a visit from karma and she feels what he felt multiplied by 1 million. Well, I tell you what, a little bit of her karma. She has a beautiful daughter out there who's out, growing up and becoming an adult, and she don't have shit to do with her. Her daughter now willingly says on her own social media, I don't speak to her. One day I will do a podcast while you are not your parents. She wants to speak out about what she went through. Can you imagine with her as a parent? I think she treated Harley better, though, because she saw Harley as like part of herself, right? She's narcissistic. That's what they do with their kids oftentimes. And she wasn't her own person, of course. But that's part of her karma. She's got Aunt Brenda, which she's lucky as hell. I know a lot of people, Aunt Brenda has said some offensive things, but at the end of the day, she's an elderly woman who literally loves her family and is just trying to look out for them. And she deserves better than how Tisha treats her. She's got Aunt Brenda and Amy. So that's some karma right there. If he only had known he should run instead of getting in the vehicle with her that day. How could he have, though? He trusted her. Neat. That's another thing I'll never forget, too, that video. And, he dropped something. He doesn't even bend over to get it. He's like, oh, God, I don't know. It's just very, very sad. Freaking sad. But, okay. Same, C. Carter. I'm right there with you. Mess with my children, and can you the restraint Al had? Listen, I know you guys are listening to the calls with Melissa. So Holly says, I appreciate you letting me know that, providing some insight about you and your studies. You are not listed as Jewish, therefore no need for a diet based on religion. Several issues you have continued to bring up have been addressed. It was also stated by Darcy that any interstate compact issues must be addressed with Colorado. Okay. Then she says, I don't need legal assistance. Besides, that agency doesn't help non-Kansas residents. That's on a document that he sends to inmates. Lol. She put a freaking LOL in this. Are you kidding me? She's one smart-ass little hussy, huh? I can stomach just about anything, but when it comes to details of how a child is murdered, I can't do it. Daniel, yeah, it's really tough to listen to. But, I think that sometimes I feel like for some people, they just can't. But for the people who can handle it, we almost owe it to them, right? To truly know what happened, to hear their story and the truth, because it's even worse, the thought of no one hearing their story. The thought of hearing their story is terrible, but the thought of no one hearing it is even worse. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's very, very professional. Besides that, agency doesn't help with non-Kansas residents. That's on a document that he sends to inmates. Lol. Plus, I went to law school, so I don't need it. Law school? She went to law school? Letecia, you are lying. Yes, ma'am, Amy. I'm happy you're here, B. Crumbs. You are lying. I went to law school, so I don't need it, but thank you. I also don't understand the printout of 11104 because I already had this printed and turned in. This was the same documents that Hartpence called me in and fussed at me about having in the presence of, we'll call him Jackie, or should I say in Jackie's office. So, like I said, I already submitted it to Hartpence, and he had an issue with it. I also mailed it to Darcy, and those are the same documents that Hartpence took. Maybe you could ask him because he took them. I just don't understand the communication at this place because Hartpence knows he took these same items that you delivered to me like I didn't have. I was hoping to address these issues with Darcy, but since the facility continues to let Hartpence interfere and not turn this info in and take mail, the same things you printed with my reasoning added to Darcy, I get, and then it was ended. She said, I also have heard back from Miss Birding. This is another issue with the ICC. It's a constitutional right to access the courts. This is not about pulling up more statues, okay? I've already seen plenty of statues in my life. This is denying me access to the courts in my state. The plaintiff, myself, must plead and ultimately prove that the lack of resources deprived me of some specific opportunity to defend myself or advance a viable legal claim in a criminal appeal, post-conviction matter, or civil rights action. I can. In fact, my information would be dismissed due to technical requirements of the library and inadequacies and cause me substantial harm. Why are you, she thinks she's got it all figured out. Let's see. Oh, that's the same thing. I have paperwork. She said she was negligent and never responded at all. I feel like this is deliberate indifference. And if that is the case, ... a person could just ignore the messages and say she doesn't have access as an avoidance tactic. She is operating in her individual capacity and is willingly and knowingly avoiding essential job duties when she's supposed to handle PREA retaliation. Let's see if there's anything important here that we don't want to miss. The grievance process is illegal because I have several messages where staff add it's not to following policy, in several in which they are ignoring the issues with state law. Good Lord. Illegal detention. Oh my God. Look what she wrote her as the title of her grievance, or in her grievance, rather, the details. Illegal detention. No, it's not. My God. You cannot be this stupid. She says, knowingly put those, just to name some examples of the prison, knowingly putting those who are not institutional violent offenders around those who are violent. Oh, this whole thing's about violent offenders, and then we'll get to her response because after this, just the attorney. So it says, prison officials are required to take reasonable measures to protect inmates. The next section of my claims of deliberate indifference and equal protection and similar situated involve overall safety. The staff has disregarded a risk that is excessive or poses a substantial risk of harm. There is a plethora, I'm surprised she knows that word, of court rulings that deal with prisoners who are at risk or being around known institutional violent offenders or others known to be aggressive or violent and fails to take adequate measures. So you want people to be kept away from you, I guess. I have documentation of the prison continually placing me around institutional violent offenders, but then uses the housing as a non-grievance offense. With that said, that is also deliberate indifference when there is no policy or no grievance area for that topic under due process. I have documentation and names and times of inmates around violent offenders creating a risk based on the prison failing to follow the point system. Hey, crochet lover. Do we get to see anything they say back? Please speak with the unit team. Damn, I was hoping they would say, bitch, you are the violent offender. You are the one people should be protected from. Okay, sorry. Just 1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is the end of their motion to dismiss. We'll scroll through the end, but I'm not going to read it because it's just all the attorneys. Look at the defendants, you guys. Plaintiff, Letecia, represented by Letecia. Defendant, El Paso County. Wait, why is this in here? This is Exhibit C. Oh, this was her case in Colorado, which was terminated in August of 2024. I'm curious why. I guess they're just showing she has a history of this. Is that why they would put this at the end? And then the schedule for that lawsuit. Which, I mean, that right there, I'm sure you could read. There's probably a lot of information in that, but we're not going to read it. I really want to get to her response that she just filed because we have so many other things to do. We're doing Casey tomorrow. We have to finish Stern's calls. And there are other cases that I would like to talk about too. So why do you think they did that? Was that just to show that she has a history? Because she tried to sue the Colorado jails too. District of Colorado. So this is something she sent to Colorado. And it's just one of their exhibits. So, all right, we can always come back to that as well. Now let's go over here. Here's her response, which was filed on March 19th, probably right at the time we got the motion to dismiss. This is the plaintiff's response to motion to dismiss. She's such an ass, Michelle. Hey, Gidget, I hope she gets labeled as a vexatious litigant. Isn't that why they would add that? Like the lawsuit from Colorado? I can't see another reason why that would be relevant. All she's doing is trying hard to get away from the people who would be the ones to take her out. Well, I mean, in Colorado, they all know exactly who she is. I'm not sure why she would want to go back. Solo Angel Mom says, my youngest daughter almost has her master's in elementary education. The school she teaches at will not even hire strictly online applicants like Letecia had from the University of Phoenix. I wonder if living in this level of La La Land is better or worse for her. Did we nurse Kristen? Bitch, you are a violent offender. Being convicted of first-degree murder of a child is the most violent a person can be. Then you attacked the guards. You planned to escape, attacked your roommate. What do you think? You're walking around with busted up knuckles from punching shit. Literally. Okay. Plaintiff has attached documentation that original motion to dismiss was mailed out March 3rd, 2025, and not received by a resident until March 17th, with a response due by March 21st. In addition, plaintiff attempted to e-file with the law library and was denied by staff. In addition, plaintiff does not have access to appropriate legal resources and law library as mentioned in original complaint that the court dismissed about right to access the courts. So they did dismiss a huge chunk of her lawsuit pretty quickly. Now, hold on, y'all. I got to get a drink. When you read this much, you got to have a drink. I've been drinking coffee from like sun up until sundown really recently. Okay. Exhaustion issue. In response to exhaustion requirement, plaintiff did follow the grievance procedure set forth in KAR state law. Step 4 is paper only, and plaintiff attached the KDOC appeal to the Secretary of Corrections as exhibits to this complaint. With these forms, plaintiff attached paper documentation explaining the denial to access claim, the PREA incident, and the civil liberty violations. In addition, plaintiff also explained the ICC violations as related to civil liberties. The courts have ruled that the date inmate drops documents into the inmate U.S. mailbox is considered the date in which the item was mailed. Camera footage at the prison can verify dropping mail to Kansas DOC secretary on dates listed as dates mailed on the KDOC template. Plaintiff did file all grievances appeals to the secretary as mentioned in the original complaint. KDOC should improve their Step 4 process if they are experiencing issues with documentation receiving and or responding. As far as the inmate responsibility, plaintiff followed the grievance procedure and dropped in U.S. mail on camera. Oh my God. Like they're going to go get the camera footage from that day because that will prove that what you dropped an envelope in the come on. And can be requested as evidence during discovery. Oh my Lord. She's clueless. Finally, prison staff, including Holly Chavez and KDOC attorneys, have responded that they have experienced technical issues with electronic grievances. This could surely suggest that the grievance system electronically and on paper is filled with continuous issues on behalf of KDOC. Plaintiff followed the requirement by the Prison Litigation Reform Act and has provided evidence of that in prior exhibits attached. During discovery, plaintiff can submit the full grievance that KDOC is failing to acknowledge. Okay, so pause. Remember, she's filed all these claims. Terrible conditions, mold, rats and mice, rats and mice, windows that don't close, water, no access to clean water, sexual harassment, sexual abuse. What else did she claim, you guys? Oh, yeah, the religious diet, retaliation, that they're retaliating against her for when she gets punished. She had all these claims, okay? Their response was, look, you didn't even let us know about some of this stuff. How can you file a lawsuit when you didn't even try to fix it internally first, right? That doesn't make sense. Here's the proof of what she actually did send and how we responded. She didn't follow the rules. We have a certain way of doing things. If you don't do it that way, you're not going to do things, okay? Letecia here is claiming, oh, but no, I followed it. Your system is broken and you just don't have it. But it's on camera when I mailed out an envelope. So that can be proven in discovery that I did mail something out on by this date. Like, come on. Was there ants in her cell? Maybe there was some kind of bugs. Is Jones in here? Continuous. I thought it was written wrong when I read it. Hey, Jonesin, I don't see you, but hey. This crazy bitch. I don't understand how she's made it in the real world. Her fantasy world she lives in is crazy. I hope she gets hers and good. When she passes, they need to study her brain. I don't know why I read that way. How did she get? Oh, she's been to law school, Nurse Kristen, I cannot believe she said that. She stays having the audacity. So there you are. So basically they're like, we've dismissed all these claims and now we want more proof. And she's sticking with it. She believes that she followed things, she did what she was supposed to do. So let's finish this. She says, qualified immunity. Dude, like I said, if this was fucking important to you, would you not take the time to, I don't know, make it neat, spell things correctly? Constitutional rights were violated by defendants, which includes anyone who works for the state. Oh my God. Now the defendants are anyone who works for the state. The violations are ongoing, and plaintiff is requesting injunctive relief and monetary damages. Of course she is. Interference with legal mail. The motion to dismiss only addresses one judicial notice, but failed to mention the numerous times that mail has been lost, not received, returned to sender without the plaintiff's permission or signature, taken and opened, not in the presence of inmate, causing plaintiff to receive the wrong mail, and legal mail that was not allowed for unknown reasons. Plaintiff attached the judicial notice that defendants are referring to as an example, but was not required to, as it was not the discovery phase. They attached exhibits too, Letecia. More evidence can be provided in discovery that will continue to show interference with legal mail and give plaintiff a chance to obtain facts and evidence to prove case. Letecia Stauch. I certify a copy was mailed to KDOC on 3/19. Look, she puts did not receive until 3/17. Just to show you, there's her attached, even though she doesn't have to because it's not the discovery phase. So that is the end of it, you guys. Holy. What do you think will happen? What's the judge going to say? Is he going to throw her case out? Now that we finished, we have time. Let's go back and look at what we missed. So they were attaching, her lawsuit with Colorado, right? Showing that she has a history of this. Here's the schedule from the Colorado lawsuit with everything that happened. I truly believe that would be really interesting to read, but we're already reading so much. But if you want to read it, it's on, it's on the free tier on Patreon. You do have to sign up to be a member, but you don't have to be a paid member just to access the documents. If you want to read through that, because I think there could be some stuff there. But okay, let's look at this Colorado. Let's see if it sounds anything like all the complaints we just read, and then we'll be done, and we have to wait for the judge's decision. Hey, Pika. Hey, Justin. Is the Amy girl still in the picture? Yeah, we don't know for sure, though, because we know she wasn't. She spoke out. She was recording their video visits, played it on another YouTube channel. But then after the trial, she did say that Letecia reached back out to her. So, we can't see what's happening in Kansas. That's why the lawsuit has been so interesting for me, because otherwise we wouldn't know any of this. Their laws are very different. Like, we're used to Colorado with her and getting her whole jail file, her prison file, all the case files. We've went through thousands of pages of evidence and stuff regarding her cases with the jails and stuff, and her case. But Kansas, they don't allow that. So, okay, let's look at this. She wrote them in February of last year. I think that's when they closed the case. And Kansas Department of Corrections is attaching this to the end. Remember, this is their motion to dismiss her case. They show that she has a lawsuit with Colorado, the schedule of that, and then they attach this. District of Colorado. I mailed the court in August 2023, letting the court know that I was in Kansas Department of Corrections. I've had several issues receiving mail and sending out mail in Kansas. In fact, I had to file a civil action habeas corpus in Shawnee County Court in Kansas for denying me access to the courts in Colorado, interfering with my legal mail, and for being illegally detained in Kansas due to this issue. I am on an interstate corrections compact, and due to security reasons, the information that I sent to the court, a secondary way, was not accepted. Who was the secondary way? How'd you do that, Tisha? Same person who's selling your shit on eBay? Your jail clothes and stuff? Huh. I received a letter from the Department of Corrections in Colorado on 2/28/24 via certified mail once they learned of my habeas and lack of access to the courts and legal mail issues. KDOC could not hide or block this letter because it required a signature. It included a letter from the U.S. District Court in Colorado saying I had a deadline of 2/29. However, I received it on 2/28. I ask the court to understand that this is an ongoing civil action involving Kansas DOC and not providing me with access to the courts in Colorado and interfering with legal mail. I explained the issue to a judge here in Kansas, and I am waiting for injunctive relief or a response to my habeas here in Kansas. I hope this letter gets to the court in Colorado, and I'm assuming it will. Why are you writing this? To the courts. I surely hope this letter gets to you, and I'm assuming it will, since I showed Kansas courts that KDOC has been interfering with legal proceedings in mail. Due to being on an interstate corrections compact, my ability to give the court my location has been infringed on by KDOC and the security behind an ICC. Please update my address. Wow, interesting. But let me go back to the very beginning of this, because there was something funny that they responded to her with, and I just want to... Was it this one? No, just one second, you guys. I can't see you, but I just want to end it with this last paper. I think it might be the next exhibit. 1 second. My God, I can't believe we read through all of this. It took us a few days, man. This was not easy to get through, but let's see. In reviewing her chart, I see no lack of access to mental health care. She has not identified as Orthodox Jewish and needs no diet. This is not the one, though. The seizure disorder. Now, this was also very interesting. If you guys, we'd already read over it, so I'm not going to. But when they put the, more information about her visits with the doctor and depression and medication and stuff like that. Oh, here we go. This is what I want to end with, Letecia. And then I'm going to hang out with you guys for a minute and just shoot the shit. But conclusions made. I think this kind of sums it up. The response rendered to the inmate by staff at the facility is appropriate. All residents are required to go through the process of classification and earning levels. You are not illegally detained. You were found guilty of your charges and sentenced accordingly. If you feel you have an issue for appeal, you need to go through the courts to seek remedy. We house you by compact at the request of the state of Colorado. If you would no longer like to be on compact, that is their decision and you need to contact them. Action taken, none further. That wraps it up. Bitch, you are not being illegally detained. You were found guilty, okay, by a jury of your peers. There was a lot of evidence, a lot. She was charged before Gannon was even found. They were confident in their case at that point. All the lies, all the manipulation, the recorded phone calls, not to mention the physical evidence in the room, all the camera footage, the cell phone footage, her searches, her Google searches. I mean, you're guilty. You're supposed to be exactly where you are. Here we go.
Say without hesitation. I can, however, say without hesitation that the facts in this case are the most horrific I have ever seen. Your conduct in this case deserves the maximum punishment that I can impose under Colorado law.
Hell yeah.
As such, with respect to the charge of first-degree murder after deliberation, I remand you to the custody of the Colorado Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life with no possibility of parole. With respect to the charge of murder in the first degree of a child under 12 by a person in a position of trust, I remand you to the custody of the Colorado Department of Corrections for the remainder of your life with no possibility of parole. Those two sentences will merge. If you have questions about that, you can ask your attorneys.
Just that beginning part. One more.
However, say without hesitation that the facts in this case are the most horrific I have ever seen. Your conduct in this case deserves the maximum punishment that I can impose under Colorado law. As such, with respect to the charge of first-degree murder after deliberation,
Yeah, you're not supposed to be around violent offenders, though, right? You're supposed to be protected, right? And you're being housed illegally, right? No. Also, let's not forget about this. I forgot because I wanted to look at this quickly, and then we'll talk at the end. But parenting should be for people, not one. I'm overdoing all the work for my stepkids, and their mom doesn't help. Mom advice from stepmom. If you aren't involved, like, why do you, this is her, Google was her personal fucking diary. If you aren't involved in your kid's life, you are shitty. Who the fuck, what are you expecting Google to say back to you? Like, yeah, agree, Letecia. I don't understand why you would even type this into Google. My husband's ex-wife does nothing for her lids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a card since I raised her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending me a Valentine's card since I raised her kids. I wonder if my husband's ex-wife is sending twice. One day, some people will wish they treated you differently. And again, she searched it twice. One day, some people will wish they treated you differently. Why should my husband choose me over family? Find me a rich guy who wants me to take care of his kids. Find me a guy who wants me to take care of his kids and get paid. It's crappy. Some parents don't care for their kids or buy them presents. Parents are those who put their kids before their nails. Twice. My son burned the carpet. How do I fix it? Will humidifier help if exposed to smoke? Smoke effects. Will humidifier help? Smoke from fire. Will humidifier help? Colorado law for kids staying at home. School is out. Is it okay for my kid to stay home alone? Son is sick, but I have to go to work. Son's sick. Can he stay home? Suede repair kit for sofa. Sheriff's office number. What is the process for our runaway child? Police steps for our runaway. Police steps for our missing child. Can Nintendo find my Switch? They're asking for my son's toothbrush, but they said nothing was wrong. Oh, I'm not even showing y'all. But here you go. That was her Google searches, okay? There was so much evidence. You guys know I'm just fired up because I cannot believe the nerve of her to sit there and complain. She wanted to be moved. She got moved. She, wanted a Jewish, what do you call that? She was switched to Jewish. She wanted that special diet. She received that, but then she was eating snacks that weren't part of the special diet. So she lost it. Okay. You're going to be around violent offenders because you are one violent ass evil bitch. And you have been sentenced to the rest of your life in prison. You're not illegally detained. You were found guilty because they had a shit ton of evidence, and you deserve every day, plus more. I swear to you, I would not be disappointed if Colorado still had the death penalty, and that's what she got. As a matter of fact, if you technically look, she would have qualified to receive it based on her crime was committed in January. It was up to all crimes up to June of that year. However, they weren't doing the death penalty there anymore anyway, even people who were already on death row. Regardless, I would not care. I wouldn't. Toe Beans, thank you for rejoining. Thank you for joining again. I appreciate you. Spicy Amy in the house. I'm sorry, but it's infuriating and you're wasting a lot of time. Like, you know what you should do? Kosher. Thank you, Michelle. You should spend some time bettering yourself and trying to have a relationship with your beautiful daughter who wants nothing to do with you, who one day is going to have kids, and, you could still have some sort of relationship with her. But you know what? Tisha's too worried about Tisha. So, whatever. Well, guess we'll see, though, you guys. Now it's a waiting game. We see what the judge does. Hopefully they throw it out. This shouldn't have went on this long. All it does is teach her that you can keep doing this bullshit and get your way. I'm shocked that Little Red said, if you guys came in late at the beginning, I had Little Red up on panel, and I think it was her first panel she's done, but she's the one who got us these documents. So she came up for like 10, 15 minutes to discuss her thoughts. And she said she believed she really might get moved back to Colorado and get her way. So that's pretty interesting. But Right, Misty. She killed him in many different ways. She did. It was unbelievably cruel. And then, wait a minute. Not only did she take his life, because this is really pissing me off, but let me tell you, this thought just, it lights the dynamite inside of me when I think about the details. Because don't forget, this bitch took his precious life, Gannon's precious life, this little boy, 11-year-old boy. Plays all these fucking games, but while he's missing, you start calling and texting his mother from his phone while he's in the house. Remember, he was in a box in the storage room, like in the house for a little while. And you've got that sweet baby hiding in there while police are in your house and you're reporting it missing. And then later that night, you start calling his mom. And then you put Al through 10 kinds of hell. Pure evil, you guys. Pure evil. But anyways. Yeah, that was Kimberly. That was her at the beginning. Yeah. Hey, Gary. So, you guys, I'm so happy that Kansas prison is a shithole. That's exactly where she should be. The Kansas women doesn't take her shit like the women in Colorado did. Debbie, you know what? I think it really is a little bit of a shithole. Even though I think she's lying about a lot of her claims, we saw when she first moved that there were many complaints against this prison. I mean, some of them were pretty horrific. This one inmate claimed that a guard essayed her, I believe maybe in the shower, did something to her and then drug her back to her room. There's some pretty bad claims about that prison, but you know what? Hey, you get what you get. You get what you get. I truly believe in karma. This is the way I live my life. And, I teach my kids, what you put out in this world is what you get back. If you're good to people, and that it's not always instant, right? And you might be doing your best and going through hard times, but you have to hang in there because eventually what you put out will come back to you. I do believe in karma. I truly do. And yeah, I think that as long as you're doing your best and you're being a good person, doing the right thing, of course, bad things happen to everyone, but you'll be way better off. But she's getting her karma. Listen, this woman has had years and years and years of bullshit and shenanigans, falsely accusing people, taking people to court for assault, harassment, fighting people, just all kinds of shit. She was in trouble as a juvenile for many things. Didn't she do anyways? I demand a hot sauce emoji. Neat Noodle, I was actually thinking, I was writing down ideas. I'd love to create a really cool merch line that was really good quality, that said something spicy on it, and then maybe an extra spicy version. I don't know. I've got some ideas of some cool clothes I would like to create and just mess around. Maybe I'll do that, but I will make you a hot sauce emoji. Don't you let me forget it either. Tomorrow night we'll be here to talk about Casey Anthony with Melissa Jade. I cannot wait. And let me drop her link because tonight we are going to be on her channel, finishing defense opening statements. Tomorrow, I think we start with Georgia's testimony. Also, I want to drop Little Red again. I just appreciate so much her getting those documents for us. We would not know what's going on if it wasn't for her. And then last but not least, I want to drop Bendy's too, because she's helped me go through these documents before. I know she's kept a close eye on kind of what's going on. Hi, Wolfie. And yeah, and Joneson came in here too. So I want to drop hers as well. And then, yeah. I'll see you guys soon. There's so many other things I want to talk to you about with other cases. The JP Miller stuff. Trying to did I drop her link, Bendy's? Yes. Awesome, you guys. We need a spicy Amy emoji. Oh, I'm sorry, Wolfie. I miss you too. I hope you feel better. Neat. I want to come up with something, but I want it to be really special and not just some kind of print on on a white t-shirt. You know what I mean? I want it detailed as much as I can, and good quality fabrics. And like, I'm not into slave labor either. I don't know. I just want to think about it and make sure it's done right. But yeah, I would love to do that. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you over tonight on Melissa's. Thank you for joining me and listening to this journey of trying to figure out what's going on with this lawsuit. I appreciate you guys. It's been a long road. There's a playlist if you've missed any of it on my playlist. I'm going to timestamp this video so you'll know when we have the guest on the panel and when we're going through the lawsuit. And also, was there anything else? Oh yeah, one last thing. Patreon. I want to do some more gifted Patreon memberships. So let's do it like this. If you are not already, you can't be already a paying member, because I've learned from Melissa that, let's say you're already a paying member and you win and you cancel your membership, it will not let you still accept another one until like the time is up or so. There's some weirdness and it makes it difficult. So if you would like to join us on Patreon, I think we're going to be live tomorrow, going through TikTok, some Luigi Mangione, looking at some whatever the Wade Wives have put out, just looking at TikTok and hanging out together. But if you want to join us for that, leave a comment down below at just tell me what you think is going to happen with this lawsuit. Is it going to get thrown out? Will Letecia get sent back to Colorado? Will she get in trouble for too many lawsuits? Leave your thoughts down below to win the giveaway, and I will respond to you if you win, and you can, with a link or with a way for you to get your membership before tomorrow's live. So I'll choose the winner tonight in a few hours. And yeah, hopefully some of you guys will be able to make it to the live tomorrow. So, okay. Thank you guys for being here. Oh, Sub Rosa. Yeah, that's a difficult one too. I just don't know enough of the details on that one to have an opinion, but I do know, I'd like to know more. I'm disappointed that more wasn't allowed in trial so you could get a better picture of things, but yeah, I don't have too much on that one. But yeah, okay, so don't forget, leave a comment down below. If also join as a free member and you will get access to one of the lives every month or so, but all the documents and things like that in the chat. So I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in a couple hours. And yeah, thank you for everything. Bye.